Sorry, I farted.
I always laugh at that. How's it going, everyone? How you guys doing tonight? Today, where are we from in this beautiful world? Sorry to get it kicked off. I got off late from work, so that's the way it goes. Welcome to another Beer and Cheese Tuesday, where we pair beer and cheese of choice. So we see if it works, and hopefully today will work. And we've got a great panel today. We got Bumpy Road Brews. Cheers, man.
Cheerios.
Cheers to Tanner at East Coast LQ Reviews.
Cheers,
right on. Thanks for being here, guys. And cheers to Beer and Banter. Cheers, brother. All right. There you go. Good to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's start with Bumpy if he's ready.
I'm ready, Freddie. I'm just cutting up my cheese.
Ready.
Slice them pretty nicely, too. All right. There's what my cheese is looking like. I'll show you what this cheese is here in a second. The dogs are coming. They heard it. They smell it. This is a Kerrygold cheese. And this one's called Scalig cheddar. So I think the Scalig is like some type of boat or something, right?
Maybe.
I don't know, it shows like a canoe type thing. So anyways, it says it's a mature cheddar with mild hint of sweetness and a unique texture. It's it looks slimy, but it's kind of got this dry, like almost like it's dry rubbed with like salt or something. Yeah. So, but I'm sure the texture is probably more on the mouth. But since they show a little boat, and I think the Scalig is a type of watercraft used in Europe. I got this beer from Abomination Brewing Company. And look at that. They're in a boat.
Oh, that's cool.
They're in a boat, motherfucker. This one's called Ocean Monsters. Comes in at 6.5%. It's an IPA. It has Citra, Strata, Simcoe, and Pacific Jade. It's in collaboration with Mast Landing. I'm not a big fan of Mast Landing. But anyways, let's go ahead and crack this one open.
Awesome.
Ocean Monsters.
Their can art is pretty badass. I noticed that when I went to Connecticut, they have a lot of their beers over there. The can art is really nice.
If it goes to Ireland.
Oh, right. Cool. Okay, so it's an island. Well, kind of still water.
Close enough. Yeah.
I went by pictures. I didn't go by actual research.
Thanks for Googling that.
So yeah, nice tight white bubbled head on this one. It's kind of a bit of a frothy head. It might break down a little bit, but beautiful looking beer. Actually, it's that milky yellow. It's nice. It's very, very murky. All right. Cheers.
Oh, great. That looks awesome.
That color is pretty rare nowadays, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful color. I like that.
Beautiful. Thanks, Bumpy. All right. On to Tanner.
All right. So I got something. So I guess this was just dropped yesterday. Proclamation Ale Company. Pretty cool. Something they don't do normally. I've had a couple by them. This is a West Coast style IPA. Everything old is new again. It's 6.4% alcohol by volume. Proclamation Ale Company out of Warwick, Rhode Island. Check them out at proclamationale.com. Drink fresh. All Proclamation beers, unfiltered, may contain sediment. Contents under pressure. Now it says brewed with hops from Hunting House Hop Yard, which is a hop farm at Gloucester, Rhode Island. And they haven't put this on their website yet, but this can is super fresh. What's today? Today is 12/13. Yeah. This was canned yesterday. It says Wild West 12/12.
Wow.
2022. So it doesn't get fresher than that, a day old. And it's not on the website yet. So I had to ask the kid that works there. He's wicked cool. He said it's just single hop Cascade. Single IPA, single hopped West Coast IPA with the Cascade, clocking at 6.4%. Let's crack it open. Got my pub glass here, Trillion pub glass. Looks pretty good. I'm guessing it's going to be pretty malty. Wow. I think they filtered this one. That is about as clear as it gets. Look at that. That's not normal. I mean, a West Coast IPA, usually they are filtered. So I think maybe they just put that on their can because they always put that on their can. That looks filtered to me. What do you guys think?
It says unfiltered?
Yeah, on the can it says unfiltered, but that's definitely, there's no way. Look at that.
Well, I mean, unless they put it through the bright tank before.
Dropped it, or crushed it.
I'm not super knowledgeable with brewing. You guys know better than I do. Kind of an off-white going towards kind of a khaki, more off-white. But it's got like a somewhat frothy, kind of rocky head on top.
Beautiful.
Looks pretty good, holding some good retention. About a finger head. And definitely I don't know, call that copper? I call that kind of copper colored.
Sure.
Looks pretty good to me. And then the cheese, like I said, I'm kind of, we're off here. I'm kind of running out of options at my local grocery store right down the street. I might have to start hitting up some other places. We got the Cracker Barrel Aged Reserve. This is what it looks like. It's kind of falling apart when I was cutting it up, so it's kind of hard to get some slices there. It's very crumbly. Cut it into a bunch of different pieces, and it's just literally just kind of collapsing, falling apart. Doesn't want to stay together. But it looks pretty good. And, we'll see what happens next time around. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, man. Taking a walk on to my side, the wild side.
Yeah, right?
Nice Westy there. Cool. Thanks, Tanner.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. All right. So I haven't opened my cheese yet, but I got this over at my wife's co-op store, like a little hippie store she works at. And they always have really good cheese there. And it's called Le Roulet. I figured I'd mix it with it. I'll show you the beer too. But Le Roulet, it's like French or something. Yeah, it is French. Hand rolled with cranberry. And it's like really like I don't know. It looks like kind of loose. Almost looks like goat cheese or something. But yeah, I'll open that in a little bit and show you. And then I got a Saison from Anchorage. I think it's a table Saison, can conditioned, 4%, low ABV. It's called the Return. Cool can art.
You guys got some badass can art, and I just got this simple freaking.
Oh. I've never seen a fucking Saison from these guys. Never had one, so I'm kind of interested to seeing what it's like. This was canned 9/16, which is, I think, pretty good. 4%, so definitely a table Saison. Very light, almost like a wit or something. It's got a very nice, like, light, what do you call it? Gold, I guess. Golden. It's really foggy. It looks like, it's very hazy. It looks like a New England for sure. In the light there, it looks like a lighter orange. It's really white, though, in my light. But nice two-finger head. Smells really good, like a Saison should. So hopefully that'll work. All right, man. Let's get back to cheers, Tommy and Chadeo and Miss Peggy and Beers and Banner. All right. Let's get back to Bumpy. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. I'm going to swirl this. I'm going to try not to spill it all over the place as I'm swirling it. Just want to try to bring back some aromas because it kind of lost its aromas when the head went away. Oh, I did an okay job.
That was weird. Everything paused. Sorry.
Yeah, so there's like a there's like an herbaceousness to this, but herbal, and it's got this slight floralness. There's a fruit I just can't pinpoint. Sound like maybe a little bit of a melon type note in there. A little bit lychee. Yeah, it's pretty delicate. But there's this kind of like herbal, spicy nose to it. Not a lot coming out of the malt. So, anyways, cheers.
Nice. Cheers.
Cheers, Bumpy.
Got a little bit of bubble gum. I'd say it's kind of lychee. It's light. It's got a little bit of a floralness to it. There is this kind of herbal spiciness to this beer. Say a little bit of like hay. Hay to grass on the finish, but there's a bit of like a bubble gum right up front. Then like the lychee, the floralness. It's not a lot coming through from the malt. It's the malt in this is pretty light. But all the flavors from the hops are not super powerful either. So even with hardly much of a malt flavor, it's staying pretty balanced. So there's not like a lot of sweetness, but it also doesn't go like super bitter either. The bitterness is kind of that, I'd say, herbal, spicy, kind of earthy tone. All right, let's get this cheese. So cheese has a nice smell to it. It's got a little bit of like a mild funk, cheddar funk, a bit of sweetness. Yeah. Well, cheers. Or cheesers, whatever I'm doing.
Cheesers.
Damn it.
Oh, again, wait. That comes later.
Very dry cheese. It just sucks all the moisture off your palate. Little crunchy bits in there every now and then. All right. Yeah. It's kind of got this sweet, nutty, creamy like flavor right up front. And then it does kind of dive down just a little bit. It's not like super like it's not like the super cheddar funk, but it's got a good moderate funk level to it. Comes back with a little bit of salt in the tail end. Yeah. Pretty nice. Does a little wave of flavor. So sweet, nutty, creamy, funky to slightly salty.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It's good in between cheddar, I'd say. Very dry. So, I mean, it's not so mild that it's like flavorless, and it's not so sharp that it's giving you too much. Right in between each other. Oh, I do like the sweetness out of it too, up front. That's kind of nice. Mm-hmm. Jesus.
Cheesers.
Cheers. Again.
Yeah. Okay. It works. That's with the with drinking the beer. That's kind of it brings out the kind of a herbal, spicy, earthy tones, mostly from this beer, while having the cheese on your palate. And then the cheese kind of cuts through that at the tail end, and it kind of you get that sweet, kind of creamy flavor from the cheese. It's nice. It blends pretty well with the beer that way. Now let's drink and then eat cheese and be merry.
Times 3.
The first thing I did with putting the cheese in my palate right after drinking this beer was I got an alcohol flavor. And this is only 6.5%. That was strange. But, yeah, it works better with eating the cheese first and then drinking the beer. And then you get this little spike of like an alcohol flavor, and then the cheese just is the cheese. So, cheesers.
But it's nice, right? It like goes. I mean, it's good to. It mixes well, or as far as like. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, mixes very well.
Nice.
Awesome. Sounds good, man.
I've seen that one multiple times. Every time I look at that packaging, I'm like, have I had that? I don't know if I brought that to a show because I've seen that one. I think I might have.
That's the thing. I'm not sure if I've ever had it.
I've never had it. I have to look
Every
for it
time
now.
I look at it, I'm like, I think I might have brought that to a show, but I'm like, maybe I haven't.
Because there's Kerrygold's. I'm not sure if Miscellaneous has had this one either. I don't.
Yeah,
eating it right now. I don't think I've ever had it because
I've never seen anyone.
I think I had the green one. There's one that has like a green thing. And I'm not sure what that one is.
I've had a lot of this stuff. I've had the Aged Reserve, and then they have the Blarney.
Yep.
And then there's
extra sharp. It's like an extra sharp one too, or something like that. Like an Irish.
There's a few of them. I have a good selection of them at my.
Yeah, they have like the gold one.
Yes. Yep.
The black one, which is the
black
reserve.
one.
Aged Reserve. That was like the first time I went on Beer Man Show. I think I brought that cheese.
Yeah.
I think they have a 5-year reserve too.
Oh wow, jeez.
Okay.
That sounds. I look for that.
Everyone I've tried, I think there was one I wasn't like a huge fan of. I think it might have been the Blarney.
Blarney. All right, Bumpy. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That sounds good. I'm gonna
The dogs
find
enjoyed
that
it. Still
the
got
next
2
time.
dogs here.
They're enjoying it, huh? Yeah.
As long as they only get slices and not the whole block.
Yeah.
Oh, your cheese! Got your cheese!
Cheers, Bumpy.
Cheers.
All right.
I put this cheese away before I get too.
Yeah.
All right. Everything old is new again. Nose? When they do West Coast IPAs, they don't actually state what malts they're using. But I always kind of get like some like more darker malts than just like your typical sweetness. So there's like a hidden caramel malt sweetness. So there's also some type of like roasty kind of coffee aroma in the background. So I don't know if they're using a little bit more of a darker malt than normal when it comes to their West Coast IPAs. But then it's got like orange grapefruit, your standard fruit aromas that you would get from like a West Coast. Bit really, really bready. And yeah, it's not super pungent on the nose, but like I said, I've always noticed that even their Guggen Music, which was their Oktoberfest beer, pretty much, their what's the name of it? You got a brain fart. It's not an Oktoberfest. It's a. All right, I can't remember.
Marzen?
Yeah, Marzen.
Yeah,
American. Jesus. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. Brain fart. But yeah, even that kind of had like a that one had kind of like a smoky note to it. So this is somewhat reminiscent to that, but not full on super smoky. It's just a little bit more on the roasty side. But overall, it smells really good. I'm gonna dive into this before I spill it on myself. Cheers.
Cheers, Tanner.
Cheers.
Yeah, their West Coast have it's distinctly has like a roasty note to it, but it's good. There's a good amount of sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. Like you can tell sometimes when the caramel malt and some of the West Coast IPAs are overly sweet. This beer is also super fresh. It's a day old. It's very citrusy. I'd say more like it's kind of like mandarin, grapefruit. Not a huge bitterness, but there's some bitterness, a little bit of an astringency. Very bready as well. I think what stands out from other West Coast IPAs is that kind of like roasty / kind of smoky malts that you get with it. It's very good. It's very tasty. It's a little bit on the thinner side, but I kind of like that it's a little bit on the thinner side. It makes it actually more drinkable. I wouldn't mind drinking like a 4-pack of these. I think that they would go down pretty easily.
What was the ABV again on that? I'm sorry.
6.4.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm not super used to getting West Coast IPAs that are a day, a week old. You know, for the most part, if I've had West Coast IPAs, they're from more macro style companies. And I guess maybe that could possibly be the difference. But I do think that this stands out compared to some of the other ones. And it's a pretty good beer. Overall, definitely solid. It's not super complex, but overall drinkability, I kind of wish the carbonation was a little bit higher. I'd say it's about on the lower side of medium. But the mouth feels great. Like I said, goes down easy. Let's try out the cheese now. Cracker Barrel Aged Reserve. The nose, definitely more. This cheese is very like nutty and salty. And of course, you get that buttery, slightly tangy aroma. Looks pretty good. Cheezers, right out.
Cheezers.
Very buttery. And salty. Not much tang. Definitely not as much as the aroma. There's a little bit of like a tangy aftertaste, but it's not overly dry and astringent. There's a good amount of like buttery creaminess to it. Not getting any like flavor crystals like you would with like the Kerrygold Age Reserve. That one's got the flavor crystals. Not getting any of that in there. Overall, not bad. Pretty good. I like the aftertaste. Let's try it with the beer. Cheezers.
Cheezers again.
Again. What did you do?
I think it kind of ramps up the mouthfeel. Kind of increases the sweetness. The nuttiness is carried out throughout the beer. That caramel malt sweetness kind of ramps up that nuttiness in the cheese. The beer, I guess the cheese is at that buttery point to where the beer doesn't become overly astringent. It actually makes it a little bit more on the sweeter side. A little bit more grapefruit is noticeable. It's actually like turns into like a grapefruit with like sugar on top. So yeah, I think it actually does a good job. At first, I was thinking maybe the cheese would kind of make the beer a little bit more bitter, a little bit more on the drier side, but it actually enhances the sweetness. Kind of cuts through that roasty, smoky flavor that's very prominent in the West Coast IPA, and they work well together. For science, we'll try it the other way. Jesus again.
Cheesers again. And
Yes,
again.
and again, and again, and again, and again.
God almighty.
Yeah. The flavors of the beer just kind of drown out the cheese. I don't know. I always try it, but I'm usually not a fan of the cheese after the beer. It's usually the cheese before the beer for me. Yeah. Overall, worked out pretty well. It's not your super complex pairing, but it doesn't completely change it up. Overall, not bad. Pretty good. I would say of the two products, the standout one is definitely this. This is kind of like your if you want to have like a aged reserve cheese, if you just kind of want to like a little bit of a example of what they taste like, try this out. As far as like some of your higher end cheeses that are aged reserve, definitely doesn't compare to those, but it's somewhat reminiscent of the higher end ones. But this West Coast IPA definitely stands out amongst other West Coast IPAs. So I'll have some scores next time around. Cheers, guys.
Was it super bitter? Or cheers, man. Was it like I didn't really catch that
the beer?
Yeah. Is it like a bitter finish or?
It's not super bitter. I think the reason behind that is possibly the malts. They're using some type of malts that I actually didn't say it, but like it's like somewhat reminiscent of like coffee or chocolate, which I'm not used to in like a West Coast. But when Proclamation does the more malty sides of beers, kind of like West Coast or like a Oktoberfest, they tend to be like a little bit on the roasty, smoky side. And that kind of balances out with the bitterness, and you're getting a good happy medium of like roasty, smoky / sweet / like citrusy bitterness.
Like a red IPA or something, or like a
kind of along the line or something like that. Yeah, they're a little bit different. They kind of switch it up, which I don't mind. I kind of like that. But as far as just like a regular West Coast IPA, I would say that it's not. If you drank this like blind, I don't think you would be like, oh, that's a West Coast IPA. You would think it was like something like you said, like a red or like a Martzen or something.
Right.
But
cool.
Yeah. Overall, a good beer, even though it doesn't necessarily fit the bill of the style. So, yeah.
Awesome. Cheers, Tanner. Thank you, man. All right.
Cheers.
Well, I'm really dying to get into this cheese and beer. Oh, no. Some of my hair was in my beer. All right. That's gross. All right. At least it's mine. All right. So let's get into the nose. For those that didn't see, I'm bringing one from Anchorage, Alaska, Anchorage Brewing. It's called The Return. It's a table saison at 4%. Never had a saison by them before. Leaving some good lacing, though. Nice retention. Good finger. Oh, god dang. There's more hair. Hold on. Oh, that's gross. gross, dude. All right, it's fine. A little bit of soap in there. It'll be soapy now from cleaning earlier. All right, let's smell it. Definite barnyard bubblegum phenolic, very spice oriented, very big spice oriented saison for sure. Has a little lemongrass, herbal, bubblegummy, banana, somewhat, sort of. It kind of smells like a wheat beer or something. Actually, very nice. Wow, I'm liking it already. Hazy beer looks like it would mistake you as a New England or something like that. Hazy or whatever. White head, frothy, creamy head. Good lacing. Light beer, but looks stronger. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but it just looks like it's got some meat to it. All right, let's drink it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, beer man.
Yeah. Oh, lemon. Lemon's big. Lemon and pear, grape. And again, one of those thiol bursted yeasty like beers. It's bringing out like a grapey kind of a white grape skin, tannin like feel. Big time. A little spruce tip, white grape tannin, white grape sweetness. A little melon coming through. Lemongrass, spicy. Like I said, phenolic kind of phenols or spice, some kind of spice-oriented thing going on. Very nice. This is really lovely. It's meaty, actually. It's got a meatness to it. It's thick. It's like a thicker feel. The mouthfeel, I wouldn't say it's heavy. It's not a full body, but the mouth feels nice and creamy and relaxing and silky. It's very nice on the palate. Body's definitely medium light, but feels thicker. It dries off in the back, kind of like a brut IPA or something. That's where I'm thinking brut with that. With the they're more. I think they're kind of like a drier. I think the yeast they use. I think the yeast they use for those is some kind of. It might be like a thiolized thing or something. I don't know, but it's like grapey as fuck. White grapes, wine, like Sauvignon, something like that. Very good. It's not super dry though. It's got a wetness to it. It's nice. The flavors go back. All right, so let's get into the cheese. So here's the cheese, all scatterbrained on my board. It came out. It cut nice with the butter knife, like butter, but it came out all munchy and shit like that. It's with cow's milk. It's called a le roulé is what they call it. I guess because it's rolled in cranberry. That's probably what roulé means. It's being handcrafted by Rian's in France since 1980. It's a fresh cheese made in beautiful countryside. Sorry, my glasses are bad. Countryside of the Var, northeast, with fresh milk coming from neighboring dairies. Yeast relay is hand rolled to create its signature ingredient swirl, making our cheese unique. Okay, so smelling it, definite cow milk, thick cow milk, almost like goat cheese, like chèvre cheese, but cow. So you're getting more of like a dairy cow, like a cow smell instead of that like rough kind of raw goaty like dirty smell, like a little more like goat cheese has a little more of a I don't know, it just smells more different than a but anyway, going forward, I can get a little bit of the cranberry coming through. It's super. It's got like a sweetness to it. Almost has like almost like a nutty smell in there. All right, I'm done smelling it. Let's eat this son of a bitch. Cheesers.
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 Oh, that's sweet. It's like goat cheese, but cow cheese. Really soft. It melts in your mouth. It's powdery. It just goes. It dissolves right away with your saliva. It's like you're drinking down raw cow milk with cranberry in it, and it's super sweet. That is so delicious. Oh my good lord. Cranberry comes through real nice. I just want to keep eating it. Yeah, it dissolves. It's fluffy like a cloud. I don't have to chew it. And the cranberry just kind of resides with this milky sweetness. Whoa. All right. Let's have this with the saison. Almost grab my IPA. All right. Ooh, that brings out the grape more. The grape kind of works with the cranberry and that milk, the sweetness. The funk works with the sweetness. That's really nice. That's really nice. Let's have some more. It like dissolves so quick that I couldn't really like get any kind of flavor out of the cheese. And then you have that. It's almost like this is kind of the cheese where you have the beer before the cheese and it's better. Opposite of what Tanner was saying. Yeah, it just kind of blends in. It blends into the cheese. It's so light, and the beer's so light, but has a nice complexity to it as well. The cheese also has a complexity, but it's so light and drifting that it just kind of goes into the beer, and it's. I mean, I don't know. It's just really good. You get those phenols kind of mix in with it. It kind of. It's like the sweetness of the cheese mixes with the phenols and all the weird funky shit, and kind of does away with it and blends into like tasting this nice grape skin, grape thing or something. It's really good. It takes the wild funk out of the beer. Okay, beer before cheese. Let's try it.
Cheesers.
Cheesers, beer man.
Yeah, beer before cheese is good, but I think cheese before beer is better. But it's leaving that. It's a funky cheese. It's weird. It's like you can eat a lot. It's so rich. It's rich. You can have it for a while, but then you're like, yeah, I can't have any more. It might be better on some crackers or some butter cookies. Some English or Scottish butter cookies or something would be really good to dip that in. Oh man, that's good. Yeah. So that's what I got for you. Cheers, man. All right, let's get back to Bumpy for his last thoughts.
Cheers,
Right.
Cheers.
Well, as this beer's kind of opened up, as it's warmed a little bit, extra flavor note for you all. A little bit of guava. Just a little bit of guava to it.
Nice.
I think that was kind of hidden fruit that I couldn't quite pinpoint when it was more chilled earlier. The score I'm going to give this beer, it's just kind of I don't know. It's got some aromatics. It's hard. You got to dig in. You got to swirl it. You got to go. Kind of light. It is only a 6.5% ABV IPA, though. It's not a double IPA. I'm trying to be fair. And then the flavors. There's a lot of that kind of spicy, burny feeling in the back of the palate, the throat, the herbal spicy notes. This definitely is not a big, like juicy IPA. It's herbal, spicy, down to earth a bit more. I said there is a bit of a guava note coming through now that's warmed up a little bit, but yeah, I know it's not like my favorite type of an IPA, I guess. So I'm gonna end up scoring it out of 40, out of 50, with everything that like putting together the aromatics, the flavors, how I feel about it, and all that. 40 out of 50. It's a good beer.
All right.
That's the Ocean Monsters with Abomination in collaboration with Masked Landing.
Cool.
The cheese, I thought the cheese was really, really good. Like I said, it's kind of in between like a super sharp cheddar and a very mild cheddar, and it just holds that middle ground nicely. It had a nice sweetness to it. It had enough of that cheddar funk to let me enjoy it. Plus, it was dry, and it just blended very well. Went very well with the beer too, actually. I'm going to give the cheese a 46 out of 50. I'll score that in the excellent range. You know, so
Excellent.
being that middle ground cheddar, it did a damn good job. So
cool, good and excellent, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, how was it together? You're getting there.
Together, yeah, they worked. It was
cool,
a masterpiece. Worked very well together. So all I did was I wasn't trying to compare like, oh, I'm going to do an IPA with a cheddar. It was more or less like, oh, there's a boat and I have a beer that has a boat on it too. So I did it based off of pictures.
That's very creative, dude. All right. Well, good scores, man. Good stuff. Thanks, Bumpy. Cheers,
Yeah.
man.
Cheers.
Cheers, Bumpy. Awesome.
All right. There you go.
All right. Both of the products I have in front of me are, I'm like, I know what I want to score them, but I feel like I don't want to give them bad ratings. But the West Coast IPA, it doesn't necessarily like fall into the style. But as far if I were to just rate this beer as a beer and how drinkable it is, sipping on it a little bit more, it's a little bit more reminiscent of an actual West Coast. At first, it definitely doesn't seem like you're drinking a West Coast. Like if I poured you this, handed it to you, you would have thought that it was some other type of style beer. Getting towards the bottom of the glass, carbonation with something like this West Coast IPA personally is something I like a lot of. It's very lacking on that, but the flavors are awesome. It's a little bit more on the malty side than your traditional West Coast IPA. Overall, I think it's fair giving this beer a I'm gonna say 91. It's very tasty. It's very good. It just doesn't necessarily live up to the style. But if all beers tasted like their style, I guess, then I think what I'm basing that rating off of is the uniqueness. And I think they did a really good job with this. I mean, like I said, it might be because it's a day old, so it's super fresh. And super drinkable. What I say 90? What I say 91? Excuse me.
91. Yep.
91 for the beer. The Cracker Barrel Age Reserve. I'll give this like an 88. I don't think it's not as comparable to some of the other higher end Age Reserves, but it's still really good cheese. And for the pairing, I'll give the pairing like a 90. It's definitely not bad. It's not a bad pairing. This is one of those beers that, you might only be able to get small distribution, and that's kind of what Proclamation kind of is right now. I know Bumpy kind of gets some of their products for the most part. You right, Bumpy? You kind of get some of their stuff.
Yeah.
Something like this, I don't know if this will ever reach past like mass. But Proclamation, they just make some really good stuff. I really wish more people start getting their products. They make good beers. It's just cool that, the town that I live in makes products like this. In Rhode Island in general, we're just kind of pumping it. We're pumping out some good stuff. Proclamation, Tilted Barn, Long Live Beer Works. I'm proud to live in a state where they're producing good stuff. I mean, I haven't had much by them that was shit. You know what I mean? You have some beers out there that are literally just not drinkable. No offense to Mass, but a lot of the products that I get from Mass and their distribution is great, but the products just aren't as good. So I mean, it's just hard when you're looking at a company and you're like kind of disappointed. You're like, you guys make some great stuff. I wish you guys could sell to more people. I wish people like Beer Man, can get stuff like this.
Me too.
But overall, like I said, the pairing worked very well. Even just trying a West Coast IPA with an age reserve cheddar, if it's not specifically what I had today, try it out for sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So what did I knew Tanner was drinking a Proclamation, I always go back to them. They're super fresh. If you had a brewery that was 10 minutes away from you, would you not buy beer from them all the time? And they make, from what they make, you've never been like super disappointed.
I'd buy him. Yeah. That's where I go here.
I've had beers that were subpar by them. I've never had a beer that I was like, this is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they're always super fresh. You always get them. They're less than like a month old.
Always fresh. Yeah. When they're close
to pricing is great. You can buy single cans. You can buy whatever you want. They have that single can thing, which is also like Proclamation's biggest perk. You can go there and you say, I want 1 can of this, 1 can of that, 1 can of that. And they'll gather it all up for you. They don't overcharge on their single cans. You buy a single can for $4.50, or you buy a 4-pack for what would that be? $18. They don't upcharge on single cans. That's just kind of how they run things. And I think that is something I really enjoy that they do. But enough ranting about Proclamation. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
All right. Well, cool. I've been doing some research. No, this is a $6.50 beer for a 4%, but it's from Anchorage. Come on, and it's not a bad saison. It's more of a Brett oriented Belgian style saison. Very nice Belgian style. White peppery notes is one thing I missed when I was tasting. Definitely has some white pepper. And some funk barnyard, but that grape, that Sauvignon Blanc kind of grapey, what's the hop? They mentioned it in my notes.
Nelson Sauvin, yeah, it's got to have something like that in there or something. I don't know, but it's so good. It's so good. It's probably one of the better saisons that I've ever had. A table saison at that. It didn't taste like a 4%. It didn't have alcohol. I mean, at all. It was really loose like that. There wasn't anything. You could drink a bunch of these and just be fine. A Mormon can drink one of these and he or she would be not drunk before they went to church on Sunday. So no, but it's so tasty. That white pepper, after reading what someone said, white pepper, I was like, oh yeah, white pepper. So I'll give this beer an excellent score, of course. It scored lower. I can't believe it, but I'm definitely going to go 94 out of 100 for the style. And because I liked it that much. There's other saisons out there. Of course, we've said it before, but there are other beers that we've tried, other styles that are better than others. So it's nice to keep it a little on the lower edge, but still a very good beer. So the cheese now was absolutely excellent. What did Luke say it was pronounced like? Let's see. Roulard. Roulard. Okay. It didn't look like roulard.
Anyway, we got kangaroos and fat roulade. Okay, that was supposed to be funny, kind of. All right. So anyway, this beer or cheese was soft and smooth. Luke was saying it was more blue cheesy, thick consistency, and I didn't get that at all. I got a really loose, kind of just goes away in your mouth, leaving you with a nice sweet flavor of the cow milk, and then any fruit that they put in it, which in this case was cranberry. Very nice. I mean, I kept eating it. I ate all of it. It went really quick. And so I'm going to give that like a 98 out of 100. I thought that was delicious. Like world-class delicious, like really good. So if you can find a roulade, check that out. You know, it'd be worth it. So the mixture, I would rather go cheese before beer just because it worked better, but beer did work with the cheese first if you drink it first. It's just that you want to have another sip after. So I would go cheese before beer on that. And the mix was really nice. It brought out some of the things still in the beer, and the beer brought out a little thing in the cheese, and it kind of blended really nice and perfect. You get the sweetness, you get the funk, and it's just like, and that grape really came through really well. That grape Sauvignon thing, or Nelson Sauvin hops, or whatever the hell's going on in there. Really good shit, man. A little lemon in there, really good, grassy, yeah, funky, and sweet. And I'll give that a 98 out of 100. The mix was awesome. So that's what I got. Let's go ahead and let's go to the panel and bring Bumpy up there. Yeah, go ahead and do some shouts, man. Let's do some shouts, guys.
Yeah. So I got putting out my 3 videos a week. Live stream on Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's the start of the show. The show is called New Brew. Just bring a beer that you've never had before to join up on panel. Now, this upcoming Monday for New Brew will be a holiday Christmas themed one. So either bring like a style that's relevant to this time of year. Of course, a beer that you've never had before with that, or a beer that's themed like during the holidays. I mean, the can art has Santa Claus on it or something, or baby Jesus, who knows? Baby Jesus, I like the I like the Christmas baby Jesus the best.
Baby Jesus.
So yeah, let's bring a holiday themed or style beer for New Brew this upcoming Monday. And I'll shout out like to shout out Ridge. Get a nose on our beer reviews, Ridgeopolis. Just a very enthusiastic, goddamn good guy. There we go.
Yes, sir.
And as Alex would say,
Yes.
check out everybody else that he's involved with too.
Yep. All right, man.
Cheers.
Cheers, Bumpy. Tanner's turn. After a big burp.
Yeah. No, yeah. Kind of go off before I get into the shout out. Kind of go off of what Josh said. If he has like a lot of small distro companies, that's awesome. But I know that a lot of people are like, there will be stores that kind of drive to different states and they buy products from different states and then bring it back to they bring it back and sell it to beer stores, and they make a killing off doing that. You know, of course, they charge more for the case and then the customers have to pay more. But I mean, like I got a 5-inch drop in Massachusetts. I only got a single can, but they brought a case from New York. And when I was talking to the people at Tilted Barn, they were talking about how normally they don't distribute to Virginia. but distribution is just so weird. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to it. But I guess you can make a whole show based off of that. But shout out to me. I might. I know I said I was going to do it yesterday. I might do Will It Mix tomorrow. We'll see what happens. See how I'm feeling. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow and Thursday with the holiday coming up. So I might not do the show at 9. Just look out for it. Will It Mix? Pretty much just get 2 beers or liquors, mix them together. I hate to do that to people, especially the panel members. But like I said, it just depends on what I got going on. I got a lot of stuff to do with the holidays coming up and shit. I still got to buy a bunch of Christmas presents and doing that show late at night and then hanging out. I don't know. We'll see what happens. For the most part, I'll probably, I don't know. I'm so wishy-washy right now. I might do it. Other than that, shout out to other people. Go check out Josh. I was just talking to Josh in the chat. Last beer bowl discussion Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I know he kind of bounces back and forth with if he's going to do it or not. Just look out for his Sunday night hangout. It's always a great time. Pulls up that article from Hop Culture a lot. So he does a beer review at the beginning of the show and then pulls up that article often, which is an awesome website. If you haven't checked it out before, check out the hopculture.com website. Lots of beer news. And I'll shout out FLX Beer Reviews, Dan and Mike, and Joe from the Beer Patrol. These guys are great. Go check them out if you haven't heard about them already. Cheers.
Nice. Cheers, man. Cheers. Cheers. Jesus. Okay. So beer and cheese will be next week again. Same old thing. What day is beer and let's see. Beer and cheese is Tuesday. We could do a Christmas one for that as well. I don't want to do too Christmassy or
No, that'd be
Bumpy
cool.
or anything, But if you want to bring something, let's put it this way: keep it open table. But if you want to bring something Christmassy, there you go. It's the 20th, so let's do it. 4 days.
What I can do? I already got
Yeah.
my cheese, but maybe
No. You bring what you want to bring. You bring a beer. A Christmassy beer or something like that goes with that cheese. Who knows? But
Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever you want to do, but if you want to go Christmas, let's do it. 8 o'clock Eastern. Wednesday, tomorrow is going to be a Chevy Chase moment. It's going to be a Christmas vacation. And that was one from mentioned from what's his channel? Why can't I think of your channel? I'm having a brain fart. Anyway, but he's not going to be here. He said, I have a beard. I'll be there if you go Christmas vacation. But no,
Chadeo?
No,
I know.
Shark Brewing.
Shark
Brewing, yeah. But he emailed me and said he can't make it because of work. So, but maybe he'll show up. But yeah, Christmas vacation theme tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern for you guys, 3 for me. Yeah, we'll do that. I might have some ideas for changing Wednesday up a little bit. I'll talk about it in the future. I don't want to. I mentioned it last night with you guys, but I don't know if I want to do that. I'm just thinking of new things. I want to maybe. I like your style's been around for a while, so maybe we won't change it. I don't know, but anyway, I don't know what else is there. Brewing, let's give you some news on that real quick. Brewing, one day. As soon as I can get my bills paid, we're all right. So, other than that, let's shout out Beer Hounds Beer Reviews. The one and only shout out for me today. Much love, brother Bill. Good dude. Offshoot Beer Company Gobbled Double Dry Hopped Hazy Double IPA he just did recently. And he showed his friend Santa Ana at Santa Ana Hardware, his parrot. also. So cool dude. I like him. All right. So that's what we have. Hey man, thanks first of all to the chat. Thank you guys for being there and being here with us. Appreciate you following us up. If you haven't already clicked into our channels, please do. And subscribe and like our stuff. And thank you very much, panel. Thank you, Bumpy Road Brews. Cheers. And cheers, East Coast Elky Reviews. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Always supporting. So, cool. Well, that's it. You guys have a good night, day, wherever you're from in this beautiful world. Cheers.
Cheers.
But not after one more sip.
But not after one more sip. Shit, thank you.